Environmental benefits of a vegan diet. Number 1. Water conservation, or rather the lack thereof. What many meat eaters either don't realize or refuse to believe is a problem is that raising livestock uses a ridiculous amount of water. It takes 1,799 gallons of water to raise only 1 pound of beef. Meanwhile, it only takes 154 gallons of water to grow a pound of wheat, or 244 for a pound of tofu. You may have noticed these numbers are considerably lower, and the sooner we realize what a drain it is on our ecosystem to raise livestock, the sooner we can begin to help our planet. Number 2. Excessive production of greenhouse gases. The amount of greenhouse gases released by raising livestock is much bigger than anyone in the industry would like you to realize. This amounts to 18% of total emissions on our planet, much higher than any other single source. Cutting back on the amount of meat consumed would lead to less meat produced and therefore lower emissions, which would lead to other positive effects on our environment, including less deforestation, lower amounts of degradation of coral reefs, less global warming, and the list goes on. How then can we continue to eat meat when we are aware of all the negative effects it has on our home planet? To my knowledge, nobody has discovered the secret of moving humanity to Mars yet, which means that we don't have a replacement once we've totally ruined this planet. Number 3. Killing animals for food isn't ethical. Everybody knows that one vegan who likes to show all of their friends the conditions that animals are raised in on farms. Everyone is aware of it, and yet they avoid seeing these pictures because they hate to see the animals in pain. Some people even have to intentionally disassociate from the fact that the meat they are eating was once an animal and still they continue to eat it. This is because of the culture of our planet. Though we may not realize it, we have been taught for years that meat is the best source of protein and that one must eat meat in order to be healthy. However, there are other ways to get protein. You don't have to become nutritionally deficient in order to save the planet. However, raising cows in a way that is not going to degrade our planet is simply not possible with the amount of meat that people consume. Not to mention that it takes 12 pounds of grain to raise only 1 pound of beef. How can someone consider themselves to be an ethical individual while so much grain and energy is wasted on raising livestock that could be used to help people? Number 4. Ridiculous amounts of energy consumption. It takes the equivalent of 1 pound of gasoline to raise 1 pound of beef. Consider that first grain must be grown, then that grain is fed to cows. A typical beef cow is raised for approximately 18 months before it reaches target weight. Then the cow is slaughtered. From there, it must be packaged and shipped, staying refrigerated the entire time. This entire process occurs just because people are addicted to an unhealthy lifestyle involving meat consumption. It doesn't take a genius to realize that if people were able to cut back on the amount of meat consumed in a year, we would be able to reduce the amount of energy wasted just to create the food that is slowly killing us. In conclusion, the environmental benefits of becoming a vegan are huge. Even if people could consider eating less meat for a moment in order to transition to a plant-based diet, we could cut down on wasteful energy use. It has been debated that we may even have as low as 12 years to reduce our damage on the environment before we meet catastrophe. The problem is that emission levels are still rising, and it is expected that the number of people on the planet will continue to grow. Our planet simply cannot continue the way it's been going. Therefore, it is essential to slow down meat consumption before things have a chance to get even worse.